Yeah. So,
All right, I'm
okay.
Yes, I'm in now.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, sounds like we just need to all right.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday's Public Policy Talks. All right, y'all, we're going to have a good time this morning. We want to get in and get out inside of 30 minutes. All right. Let's have a good conversation. All right, y'all. It is 8:30 on the dot. 8:30 on the dot. I see former Commissioner Marlene Foscue. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. Have Raquel here with me behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Raquel, for being here to assist this morning. Melba, I see you out there. Reginald Miller. All right. See all of y'all out there. Thank y'all for coming in and listening in this morning. All right, we got a few people out. The room is starting to fill up. Thank you for coming on Thursday Talks. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to work the background to make sure I can share the right screens. Let's see. All right, Matthew, I got you in, man. Thanks for coming in, Matthew. Dwayne Johnson is in here.
Hey, brother, I'm down for the cause, and we'll be here every Thursday, barring a catastrophic emergency.
All right. Congratulations, Matthew, on the newborn. Also, hadn't had a chance to talk to you since then.
Yeah, I basically stay up 24 hours a day. It's cool. It allows me to get everything done, be on time, everything. I love it.
All right, sounds good. Sylvester Ford, I see you down there, board member of Advancing Black Businesses. Do I see any other board members of Advancing Black Business? Sometimes it's hard for me to see as I host. Any other board members out there?
Good morning, Marquis.
Good morning. Good morning. All right,
doing okay this morning?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Okay.
Right. All right, y'all. 1 minute. We are getting started. Also, I'm about to put it in the chat, the survey. We have a 5-question survey. We're needing more respondents to the survey. I am going to put that in the chat. Same survey as last week. Getting some good feedback. And y'all excuse me from time to time. I'm not able to go back and forth with that chat and my notes. So, but just continue that conversation in the chat.
I got you. I got you.
All right. Thank you. All right. I put that that survey in. We want to get get as many respondents as we can on the 5-question survey. It only takes 2 minutes or less. 2 minutes or less. All right, y'all, let's jump right into it. I want to start out by talking about contracting, and then we're going to talk a little bit about around the access to capital. We're going to get into some other conversations. But contracting, a couple of years ago, the SBA came out with the numbers that are disaggregated, meaning by race, of the contracting numbers of the federal government. And during that time, Advancing Black Businesses was just getting started as the public policy arm of the Atlanta Black Chamber. So we were paying a lot of attention to the contracting levels at the state level, where we knew the contracting levels at the state level, and that's contracting for you. Contracting for you as Black business owners were well below 1%. And we were shocked to see once the SBA came out with those numbers. Some of those numbers you may have seen Hopefully I can share this on the screen. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. But what we found is that 1.67% of the contracts in and around 2020, 2021 were given to Black-owned businesses at the federal level. Again, that's at the federal level. And I'm going to see if, where is that data? There it is. Let's see if I can push that onto the screen. I was very alarmed at those numbers, because if you see the pie chart actually shows the bulk of the numbers that are not a small business. Not a small business. 75% of those contracts are going to those that are not a small business. If you look over to the number right here, very small purple section, you'll see they actually have it at 1.7%, but that is actually 1.67% to be exact. And if you look further down, you look at the amount of contracts, and then that's where you see the 1.67. So somewhere around that, if you look at that $9 billion, 9.3, almost $9.4 billion has gone to Black businesses. But you look at the total eligible dollars, that's over $559 billion. So what we found is for that study, that we are not getting many contracts at the federal level. I know some of you out there that are 8A certified, you're women-owned small business certified, you're veteran-owned small business certified. So what I am doing is that I'm working on a challenge. I'm starting to challenge the federal government as we engage them. When I walk in the room, I want to have a group or a list of some capability statements readily and available. And I want you to email me at info at Atlanta Black Chambers, but info at advancingblackbiz.org, info at advancingblackbiz.org. Raquel, if you're able to put that in the chat, please do so. And I have info at advancingblackbusiness.org. I want to have a running list of, as I engage federal officials at the federal level and even at the state level, that I have a list handy of capability statements. If you have a capability statement, I just want to take a poll. How many of you, by the raise of your hand on Zoom, raise of that yellow hand on Zoom, have a capability statement already? Have a capability statement. I know a few of you do. Yep, I see a lot. Please send that over to me. The email address is in the chat, info at advancingblackbiz.org. As Melvin and I, other officials with the Atlanta Black Chambers walk in the room, and as we engage those federal officials, we can walk in the door and say, we have a list of capability statements right now. We're going to start pressuring them to do more. The Biden administration has a small business goal. That's a general small business goal of increasing that contracting level to well over 15%. Well over 15% for small businesses in general. So we're looking to get you in the door. This past week, we had a meeting with the small business director of DOD. I was able to had a small meeting with DOD, small business director, and I was able to get a few of our chamber members in that meeting to talk about increasing those contracting levels with DOD. So as those come up, I do want to have a list of those capability statements with me as I walk in the door, because we're going to start putting more pressure on the federal government as we meet with them, because you may have been on the calls last year. We had a series of calls with GSA, U.S. Department of Governmental, and I'm at a loss for words, the GSA administration. And we were engaging them in the sense of increasing contracting levels at that level. So I've reached back out to them to have a private meeting to actually bring some of you in the room, because from what I understand, but from the three functions that we had, there was no contracts actually awarded to the ones that were participating in that. So want to make sure that we're staying on top of that when we are talking to these federal agencies. So I wanted to stress that this morning on the capability statements. Also, again, the survey is in the chat. The survey is in the chat. Also, please take that survey. Also, on you heard a lot in and around Black spending power. Black spending power. We're at $1.8 trillion now. I am going to see if I can bring that data up. I don't know if you know, but that data comes from the University of Georgia Selig Center, their School of Business Selig Center. That comes from there. If you knew that data came right here in Georgia, please raise your hand. Just want to take a toll, see how many people knew that the Black spending power comes from right here in the state of Georgia. And I am going to see if I can bring some of that up. Raquel, if you see that on my notes, if you could put that in the chat on Black spending power. There is a link there on my notes on Black spending power. That's down towards the bottom part. It has the Black spending power originates from UGA. And I don't see any hands raised as far as knowing that. All right, I'm going to see if I can put some information on the screen as I navigate through. There's a report that comes out, and it actually came out this in 2024 report just came out. If you look on the screen, you'll see the Terry School of Business, Terry College of Business website. You see the 2024 Georgia Economic Outlook. Also, you see buying power, the multicultural economy buying power. If you see that, that's where that number $1.8 billion. There's a charge for that report, $250 to get that report. But if you see the multicultural economy report right there, that's actually the 2019 report. You can easily download that report, the report from 2019. And what I want to do is point out a couple of things on that report. If I could bring up another, and I'm big on data, y'all. I'm big on actually showing and being visual on this. And if you look at the state of Georgia, that's on the screen right now, $141 billion of spending power in the state of Georgia. You heard us talk a lot in and around that, especially on orientations, on open house. You hear Melvin talking about the Black spending power. So we've talked about that for the past many, many years because we want to get you in front of your number one customer. That is Black consumers, is your number one customer. So, but just know that it is 141 billion. If you look at the next screen, if this actually comes over, that shows a $1.8 billion. Hope you guys can see it on that screen. I just switched screens. $1.8 trillion is the Black spending power now, according to that report. So you had a lot in and around that. That actually comes again from the University of Georgia Selig Center, University of Georgia Selig Center. All right. So we've talked about in the past a couple of meetings that we had, because this is the third public policy talks. We talked around the racial wealth gap. We're going to dig a lot into that Black spending power. We're going to dig a lot into a lot of different things that actually make up. So what I'm looking to do is introduce you to all of this data. So when we start truly advocating during this election cycle, because this is a very important year with the presidential election cycle going on. They'll be in Georgia next month for the actual primary. I want you to know, as these candidates talk about policies that they're pushing, policies that they're doing, how does that relate to your community? Is that good for you as a Black business owner and a Black consumer? Black business owner and a Black consumer. Is that good for you? So as we move on, looking at my notes, we have the access to capital. Some of the respondents for the survey that I want you to take today has access to capital as number one, contracting as number two, issues that you want to actually tackle and talk about. The state of Georgia has a small business credit initiative, and I consider this as the state level SBA loan program, which they work with small lenders. I am going to sit, and Raquel, if you could put that link in the chat, that's actually in the notes, the SSBA. Let's see if I can pull it up. So I'm very big again on data. I want to actually get you in front of as much data as I can. Let's go here. Small Business Credit Initiative actually started some time ago, around 2010. Due to the CARES Act, there was $10 billion that were put into the small business credit initiative. And this is our state level program to where we can actually access venture capital dollars. We can access loan dollars to actually grow our business when we talk about having access to capital. We're going to start engaging this organization within the Department of Community Affairs of the state of Georgia even more to bring more information to you about access to capital. I know there's several members that are in this space that are experts in the access to capital space. One is our board member, Sylvester Ford, who has a lot of information and can actually take you into the areas based on your level of business, based on your level revenue that you're making right now, and find the best resources for you. So we have several others within the chamber that specialize in that area. So that access to capital is actually one of the main concerns that you have. So I wanted to actually bring that forth. But now I want to do something. Since we have a small group on here, we did definitely want to grow the group. I do want to hear if you want to make any comments or have any questions about anything going on out there in the public policy space, any hot topics that you want to bring up, please raise your hand and we will unmute you and let you make a comment of somewhere around 30 seconds to a minute. I do want to get some feedback because it's all about getting feedback from our membership base, from our Black business owners and our consumers. I know you talk a lot in that chat, but this is a small knit group as we speak right now. Is there any comments that anybody, and you want to take 30 seconds to about a minute at most? I do see Mr. Ford. Come on in.
One thing I like to make everyone aware of, next on the 15th down there in Clayton County, they're going to have a several of the different agency heads to come up with information concerning the PPP. If you give me a second, let me go to my computer and pull that up. And I'm going to try to put, I know I'm not technically capable of being able to pull it from my computer and load and upload it. But one of the things I will do, try to do, is to get it to Raquel. She's probably better at doing it than me and you, Marquis, and try to put it in the Atlanta Black Chamber Marketplace or our website. It will have, it's free. I got the information from Michael Hightower. If y'all don't know, also he's having some, it's called Investing for Impact, Public-Private Partnerships. It is an opportunity to, let me pull it up.
Okay. And take us about 15 more seconds, Sylvester.
It's going to be down there in the Mall, at the South Lake Circle Mall, the Mall Center. And it's going to allow for, it's going to be elected officials, community leaders, business executives, and advocates. And they're going to be looking at bringing capital investment and economic growth to the South Side area. And it's talking about infrastructure dollars. So anyone that has a business might want to go down there and take a look at what the opportunities will be. I will put that in the, Raquel, I'll email this email to you, and hopefully you can put it into the Atlanta Black Chambers Marketplace.
Okay.
It's February 15th from 9 to 3. Is the HBCU Green Fund.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Sylvester. We appreciate your support. See, I think I saw Linda Jackson. Linda Jackson, could you come off mute and you can show yourself on camera if you would like? See just your name up there, not a picture, but make your comment or question. Oh, you went back on. There you go.
Good morning,
Lyndon, that's
everybody.
Lyndon. Yeah,
Yes,
I said
sir.
Lyndon. What's up, man?
That's
How you
okay.
doing?
That happens quite often, so I'm used to that. Good to see everybody here. One thing I've been working on is putting together a list of government agencies that will help with paying the salary of an employee that gets hired by a small business. A lot of my small business owners are interested in something like this. So I'm doing research and compiling a list. So if anybody knows about any kind of government agency that'll pay the salary for an employee, and as you know, most small businesses are run by just one person and they don't have any extra help. So it'll be a great resource to be able to pass on to small businesses. So that's one thing I'm doing, and I'm relying on everybody to help. If they know anything, any agencies that'll be helpful, that'll be wonderful.
All right. Thanks a lot, Lyndon. Really appreciate your support over there at Operation Hope. Thank you so much. See, next up, that is Reese Roberts. Reese Roberts, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I would definitely take myself off of the picture, but my background is pretty dark, so you guys probably won't be able to see me. However, I wanted to see if I could just kind of put something out there about financial education and financial literacy, because I know that our access to capital is really an issue because we don't necessarily have a lot of education in the banking and securities field. And that's one thing that I like to focus on with our community, is because we don't necessarily have educational programs at our education institutions about banking and securities on more advanced levels. So I want to see if we might be able to make some connections there about how our people can start entering into the conversation when it comes to, like, for example, the Securities Exchange Commission. And also banking regulations, banking examination policies, and things like that. Because what I noticed in the recent news trending is, like, for example, Navy Federal Credit Union, they were cited by federal regulators for discriminating against Black applicants for home loans. These types of things we could avoid in our community by being subject to those types of discrimination if we had more education about what the process is for underwriting to occur, and for us to actually enter the space with our investment property. A lot of us are not aware that our contracts are considered to be investment properties to our banking and financial institutions. So I would like to enter that into the conversation and possibly make some connections to help people to get into that space.
All right. Please put your information in the chat. Reese, thanks a lot for your comments. Janelle Perry, I see your hand up. Janelle Perry. Come on into the conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, Marquis.
Yes.
So I'm coming from a couple of angles. One, encouraging you to apply that pressure when it comes to Black businesses getting contracts, because I actually was in a government contracting program here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, that the intent of it was for us to get contracts. And I was one of 3 honor graduates in that program. I did everything they told me to do, even down to putting my GC on the forefront, having him to meet, did everything, and I still got nothing. And it's one of those things where we have these policies, we have all of these different set-asides, all of these different goals, but if they aren't enforced, it means absolutely nothing. And what I'm finding is there are a lot of different municipalities that are doing all of these disparity studies and things of that nature, but the intent is not there. So we do have to apply that pressure when it comes to it, so that it's not that we have these goals, but people who are qualified are not getting the contracts because there are underlying things that are going on, besides not being able to find qualified business owners. And then secondly, a hot topic for me, you're asking about hot topics. I'm more from that housing standpoint, and there's a lot of data that's showing that there are a lot of people who are renting right now where they don't have the money to pay their rent. So there's a lot of, even though we have a lot of the COVID funds that are expiring, there's a lot now where people are trying to bring up Band-Aids when it comes to all of the housing. Also, there's a lot of funding that's being approved, but even though that funding is being approved and different municipalities are doing executive orders, we still go back down to who's going to get those contracts and why certain people aren't able to get contracts. So thank you so much for this, Marquis. I really appreciate your intentionality to advocate for us.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, we are at the end time. I thank you for those who spoke this morning. From time to time, I definitely want to get some feedback from you. It's all about you. It's all about getting you more contracts, getting you in front of opportunities when it comes to advancing Black businesses, when it comes to Atlanta Black Chambers. We're looking to work closely with you. We're looking to be that advocate for you when it comes to public policy. So a couple of reminders, please get your capability statements over to us as we engage the U.S. departments about contracting. We want to be readily available to have those capability statements to say, hey, here are some viable businesses that are certified at that federal government level. We want you to take a look at them. So that's what we want to do as far as we want to be intentional with what we do at advancing Black businesses and Atlanta Black Chambers. So thank y'all for coming on this week. From time to time, we're definitely going to have this close conversation in and around. So I want to hear from you. Let's grow this call. This is Thursday Talks. We're generally in and we're out. We're 5 minutes before the hour. Thanks a lot, everyone. Okay, go ahead. Who do we have?
Beginning next week, there will be another meeting ID. So just be on the lookout for the communications. And this ID is going to require everyone to register, which is a different format from Tuesday Talks. So just be on the lookout for that flyer coming out sometime this week.
Yes, be on the lookout. Again, that the meeting ID will change. We're starting to grow this organization. So we want to start moving away from Tuesday Talks when it comes to using Tuesday Talks actually ID. So again, public policy talks on this coming Thursday, each and every Thursday. We're going to come in and talk about some initiatives, talk about things, talk about opportunities for you as Black business owners. You are number one to us. We're going to make sure that we have you at the forefront. You just saw the contracting data at the federal government level just a few years ago. From what I understand, even though I haven't seen that data yet, that has increased from that 1.67%. But that's a long way to where we need to get to. So we're going to be advocating for you in that space. Thanks a lot, y'all, for coming in for this quick public policy talks. I'll see y'all next week.
Excuse
Have a good
me.
rest of the week. Go ahead.
Excuse
I'll
me.
stick around for a few minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. I was wondering, is there an email that we can send any information to? I didn't know about some organizations that will pay a student, so maybe like a youth person to work at your business. And I just wanted to share that information with the people who are on the call. And just having contact information for, the leader of this group in general.
Okay, so you have a question about, is there any youth related?
No, I know of some, like WorkSource Georgia. If you go to your local WorkSource Georgia branch, sometimes they have youth programs where they will pay a youth person to work at your business or your company, and you don't have to incur that cost. Sometimes it is just over the summer, but I know they have one in Cobb that's throughout the year, so it's almost connected to work-based learning, but they would pay a student to work for you. I don't know if your business would fit, with working with youth, but some people's might. And there's another company as well that I know of, so I just wanted to send that information to you.
Hey, Janelle, I'll pop my email address in the chat. I can definitely get that information disseminated out to the Atlanta Black Chambers.
And which email is yours, Raquel?
I'm Arts. Yeah, it's Arts as in
okay.
Arts and Entertainment, but you can send it to arts@AtlantaBlackChambers.org.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that information. Appreciate it, Ms. Blunt. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming in. This was an open conversation today. Hopefully you got something out of this, and we'll see y'all on next Thursday. Thanks a lot. Y'all have a good one. See y'all.